2023 is in the books, and it's time to turn the page for 2024. If I had told you at the start of 2023, as we knew where inflation was at a very extremely elevated level, and I told you how fast the Federal Reserve was going to hike interest rates, many of you wouldn't have been sitting here saying, yep, the S&P 500 will be up nearly 25% at the end of the year. But it was a very solid year for the index. But now it's time to turn our attention to 2024. And that unknown is part of the reason that I always preach when I'm working with investors in my 6-week investing accelerator course and telling them the importance of, number one, not ever trying to time the market and staying invested. It's important to always stay invested. There's areas where you can pick and choose determining on valuation, but it's very important to always stay invested. As such, in today's video, we're going to take a look at a recap, a high-level summary of my exact portfolio and how I did in 2023, and then move on to 2024 and look at areas I'm looking to invest my money moving forward. But before we begin, do me a huge favor, smash that like button down below, subscribe to the channel as I truly appreciate it, and it really helps the growth of this channel moving forward, and let's jump into it. Hey everyone, Mark Rusin here, back for another video. As always, I'm a CPA and not a financial advisor, so please do not take this as financial advice. And before we begin, let me thank today's video sponsor, which is The Motley Fool. The Motley Fool has a ton of great resources and products available for investors of all different levels. And right now, you can start your year off right by going to fool.com/Mark to check out their 10 best stocks to buy right now. All right, let's get back into our video, beginning with a portfolio recap. How did my portfolio do as a whole in 2023? Looking here, you could see the portfolio had a pretty solid year, outpacing the S&P 500. The portfolio gained $59,151 on the year in investing gains across both my taxable and Roth IRA accounts. This does not include any 401k money. The portfolio as a whole was up 28.2% compared to the S&P 500, climbing 24.8%. In total, I have a market value closing in on $300,000. Here's a sneak peek at my top 5 holdings. Number 1, VFIAX, which is an S&P 500 index fund, a Vanguard index fund, followed by VDADX, which is also a Vanguard index fund focused on dividend appreciation stocks. The third highest position in my portfolio is SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, which I have now amassed 200 shares, followed by my first individual stock, which is Google, or Alphabet, I should say, stock ticker GOOGL, which we have amassed 100 shares now. And the fifth largest position in my portfolio is Microsoft, stock ticker MSFT. In total, my portfolio has nearly 50 total positions, mixed of index funds, ETFs, and individual stocks. And if you ever want to check out my portfolio, then consider becoming a premium subscriber to the Investor's Edge, where you get to see and have access to my entire portfolio. I do monthly portfolio updates, which give you all the stocks I've added to the portfolio during that month and any stocks I've sold during that month. In addition, premium subscribers not only receive the monthly portfolio update, they also get one stock deep dive every single week on an individual stock. They get our weekly Edge report, they get earnings recaps, and more. The price will be increasing at the end of January, so make sure you go over there, check it out for a month, just so you can lock in today's price. Next, let's focus on dividend income, which, as many of you know, I love to invest in companies that pay dividends. I don't just invest in companies that pay dividends. Obviously, we saw that with Alphabet being my largest single stock holding. But I love to invest in companies that grow their dividend at a strong pace. I like to call these companies dividend growth stocks. When it comes to dividend income for 2023, I earned $6,437. When you're looking at this graphic here, you can see that I'm projected to earn $6,655 over the next 12 months. And if I don't add a dime to my account all year and none of these positions increase their dividend, that's what I'll get, which equates to $555 per month and nearly $20 per day in dividends. But we know I'm not someone that's just going to be sitting on my hands in 2024. I'm going to be adding fresh new money. And these companies have already shown their ability to increase their dividend on an annual basis. So in terms of a dividend income goal for 2024, I'm looking to earn $7,500 in dividend income in 2024. It's going to be a big hike and a tall task. But right now, if you look at my portfolio, you could see, number one, I have a lot of cash still in there that I can apply. And I also will be adding new cash every single month. And on top of that, as we know, I invest in what? Dividend growth stocks. And these companies regularly increase their dividend at a high rate. So not only are we adding new money again, but we're getting companies that are paying more in dividends. That's how I'm going to increase it and hopefully meet that goal of $7,500 in dividend income in 2024. Dividend income is always going to be part of my investing strategy. But again, I never invest in a company just because it pays a dividend. I like to say this a lot with the clients I work with. Never invest based on yield alone. There's a lot of companies that pay huge yields out there, but a lot of them are what I like to call sucker yields. They look great on paper right now, but the company can't afford them. They're utilizing debt right now to pay dividends, a major red flag. And what that means is moving forward, that dividend is likely to be cut in the future. So it's always important as you as an investor to always be able to perform your due diligence. Look at all the different metrics. And I do this through my 6-week investing accelerator course. And if you want to keep up again with how much I'm earning and how I'm doing on my dividend income goal, then definitely check out the Investor's Edge newsletter. I'll leave a link down in the description below. So finally, let's move on to what sectors do I believe is going to outperform in 2024. In this past year, in 2023, technology and communication services were the clear leaders, led by the likes of NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Meta Platforms, Alphabet. The Magnificent Seven is what they call them. They held a huge weight in why the S&P 500 performed the way it did. Now, the market did broaden out in the past few months, which is a good sign. But I believe heading into 2024, it's going to be the tale of two different halves. I do expect a slowdown in the first half of 2024. We're already starting to see signs of that. But the back half, I do expect to see a little bit of growth coming back. In addition, the Fed has already told us that they're going to be starting to do rate cuts as well. So with all of that in mind, which sectors do I think could outperform in 2024? I'm going to start with Real Estate Investment Trust, or REITs. And if you've watched any of my videos in the past, then you know that I do love REITs. And I set aside roughly 15% of my entire portfolio towards REITs. It's my way of gaining real estate access to my investing. I like REITs such as Realty Income, stock ticker O, also known as the Monthly Dividend Company, followed by Prologis, PLD. I also like Vici Properties, VICI. In addition, Agree Realty, and more. There's a lot of great REITs out there that are trading at bottom feeder prices right now. And you could check out a recent video that I just put out covering 10 top REITs that I like for 2024. So obviously I'm high on REITs, and we've already seen REITs start to make a little bit of a move to end 2023, which is a good sign heading into 2024. But I think if we do see an outperformance and a rally overall, I think it's going to be much more broad. In 2023, it was very top heavy, as we saw, with the communication services and technology largely heading the way and making up a lot of the gains for the entire year. However, if it is in fact broad, it's going to benefit the likes of something like SCHD, which is obviously a top position in my portfolio. A few other sectors that I'm high on where you can get some great valuations right now are industrials, energy, as well as financials. So with that being said, that's kind of a recap on how did my 2023 end in terms of my portfolio? What are some of my dividend income goals heading into 2024? And a few sectors that I'm high on also heading into 2024. Down in the comments section below, let me know, what sectors do you believe will outperform in 2024? Do you believe the S&P 500 will be positive or negative on the year? And with that being said again, I hope you have a great and happy new year. I wish you great health and great investing returns in the new year, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.